Chapter 6 starts with a knock on Gatsby's door. Turns out to be this young reporter kid questioning Gatsby's mysterious past. And we find out that the J. Gatsby we've pieced together is just an invention of a 17-year-old boy who's been pursuing the American dream. Originally born as James Gatz, J. Gatsby is his own perfect conception of himself, who embodies everything Gatz wants. He is rich and well-known and truly everything that a 17-year-old boy would be likely to invent. And to this conception, he was faithful to the end. Gatsby lived his life in an unwavering pursuit of the American dream that was built upon his past experiences. However, despite Gatsby's materialistic success, he does not truly achieve the dream he's been searching for. Fitzgerald illustrates through Gatsby's life that by devoting everything to recreating the past in search of the American dream, one blinds himself from his own identity and moral values within society.
The man that was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, in the Gatz to Gatsby transition was no other than the rich, high-class Mr. Dan Cody, who first came ashore in Gatsby's life on the yacht that represented all beauty and glamour in the world to the young, ambitious Gatsby. Although Gatsby had already begun his personal quest for the American dream, Dan Cody was the man whose spark ignited Gatsby's goal in being the next member of the high-class society, regardless of what means he needed to get there. Because of a twist in fate, when Dan Cody dies, Gatsby does not inherit his money as he is supposed to. Instead, he is left without a penny and without a place within the high-class, luxurious upper world he had been living in for the past few months with Dan. The next time Nick visits Gatsby, Gatsby is having drinks with Tom Buchanan and Mr. and Mrs. Sloan, who are part of the Old Wealth in the East Egg. As the group stifles through small talk, Nick can't help but notice how Tom and the Sloans' behavior towards Gatsby is rather cold, as the group talks behind his back when he actually accepts their invitation to dinner. This cold-hearted behavior displayed by the Old Wealth reflects how the pursuit of fortune and status distorts moral values. Since the Old Wealth has never had to work hard to gain their fortune, their moral values reflect what their past has always allowed them to get away with: carelessness and cold virtues. With only the goal to live luxuriously above the poor, the members of the Old Wealth are just as blinded in the pursuit of the American dream as those such as Gatsby, who had to use immoral tactics to gain their wealth.
Ta-da! Party at Gatsby's. So the following night, Gatsby throws another party. However, this party had a different effect on the characters in The Great Gatsby because this time, Tom and Daisy were on the guest list. Nick points out this unpleasantness in the air because as he begins to see the line between old and new wealth. He had merely grown used to it, grown to accept West Egg as a world complete within itself, with its own standard and its own great figures, second to nothing because it had no consciousness of being so. Between East and West Egg, each is a microcosm of different pursuits of the American dream, and subsequently are blinded based on their own past. Both sides live in their own little world, and because of their clouded view of the rest of society, they are separated with their second-to-nothing mindset, that each is pursuing the true American dream. Meanwhile, the party drags on as Daisy sneaks in some alone time with Gatsby, and Tom questions Gatsby's rise to wealth by calling him a bootlegger. In the conversation with Nick after the party, Gatsby reveals his desire to repeat the past in order to win back Daisy, who represents his American dream. As he cries, "Can't repeat the past? Why, of course you can," when Nick claims otherwise. Gatsby's obsession with the past ultimately leads to his death because his refusal to let go of what he had with Daisy keeps him from understanding his own identity. As soon as Gatsby kissed Daisy for the first time, he locked lips with the pursuit of the American dream, and from that moment forward, Gatsby would never be happy with his present lifestyle because he would always be reaching for the old wealth lifestyle that Daisy embodies. Gatsby lives constantly believing that the dream never dies as he resorts to immoral tactics to try and repeat the past. However, as reality may have it, the dream really does die, because by living for the past, one destroys his future through his loss of identity and moral values. And I think it all started with a kiss. Stay tuned for more Gatsby gossip in the next chapter.